Welcome back, everybody, to the back nine of round 2 of the Preserve Championship in Clearwater, Minnesota. This is the 4th Disc Golf Pro Tour of the year, and we are at Cale Leviska's new property. He is sponsored by Prodigy Disc, and so is this coverage. We are so excited to see how this second round turns out. I'm Paige Pierce.
I'm Missy Gannon.
And look at the leaderboard. We have some low scores, and we're looking to drop even lower. Lots of birdies on the back nine. And we see that the second card is playing pretty hot right now. Sarah Holcomb and Paige Shue are both well under par. So we got a little bit of work to do to stay up on this lead card going into the final round.
Yeah, and starting us off on hole 10, it's 269 feet. It is a par 3, and it's basically playing like an island. You just need to land it up here safely. It's super fast green, and you just want to throw something straight at the basket. It's a little bit uphill, so it might play a little bit farther, but yeah, I'm going to go with a Paige Pierce Buzz. I'm just trying to laser line it right at the basket, just kind of put it on a little bit too much hyzer, and I'll find myself skipping just outside the circle, but with an uphill putt. Any tee shot that doesn't land inbounds has to go to a drop zone.
Mm-hmm. This is my Crystal Fierce here. Just trying to basically throw it a little bit high and elevator it down.
Yep, perfect shot. I like it.
Thanks for the claps, Missy. Appreciate that. Kona now with her S-Line FD. A little bit late out of her hand, and she was committing to that Anheuser release, so the combination of those two leaves her out of bounds. She'll have to go to that drop zone that you just spoke about.
Mm-hmm. And the drop zone's still on the other side, on the tee pad side, so you still have to, you know, pitch one up over the OB.
Mm-hmm. Catrina deciding between an M2 and a PA1. She threw the PA1 in round 1 and parked it, so wasn't surprised to see her grab that one. Out of her hand, she did say, hyzer, hyzer. Mm-hmm. But looked pretty great to me. About a 15-foot putt.
Kona.
Yep, you got it.
From the drop zone, I don't know what she's throwing. You can speak to that, but a great little chip shot forehand. Looks like maybe an AVR X3. Yeah, so she'll be tapping in a bogey. Not great, but good recovery shot.
Oh.
Outside the circle, gave it a bit. I was gonna run everything. Unfortunately, this is the worst case scenario. End up hitting the basket low and rolling outside the circle again. So not exactly happy about that.
Wow, it was outside the circle.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And just hit left side chains. Yeah, pretty. That's a bummer. I'm already kind of on a slow start, and bogeys never feel good. But Kat, on the other hand, just making that putt look easy, tapping in her birdie.
Moving up to 9 under par.
Mm-hmm. Another great birdie. And unfortunately a bogey for Kona. As well as myself. Yeah, that was a bummer. I've been feeling really confident putting, and unfortunately just finding myself outside the circle. But hole 11 is a 667-foot par 4. This is a beautiful fairway in my opinion. You really just have to throw something really committed and go as straight as possible, get a full flight out of the disc, and land just before where we just flew by, and then you'll have to navigate this last tree to the green on this slightly elevated basket.
Going with the Surge SS here, a little bit of Anheuser, just riding it. Katrina now with that D4. Hyzer flip, turns it over, and she's going to find the right side, but she's well up there.
Mm-hmm. Throwing a thrasher, just trying to throw it pretty hard, as straight as possible. don't quite get the turn that I'm looking for, so I knew I was going to probably be testing those left side trees. But depending on where you land, it may not be too bad from there.
It's that flippy destroyer from Kona.
And she just rips on it. Gets the height perfect. Honestly, if your cat's shots were that high, I think it would be a similar turnout. She just threw it exactly the way she needed to.
Yeah, that was a great shot. Wow, and look at this step out.
Yeah. That was a bummer. If I was 2 feet farther forward or backward, I would have had at least a run up, but it was just an unfortunate, unlucky lie.
You make good work of it, though. Almost to circle 2. Catrina looks like she's... Wow. I think this is her F7. She's going super flippy fairway on a high anhyzer, and she finds the green just a little bit on the short side. This is my soul here. Trying to go wide left side with a late turn, and I don't commit to the angle, just kind of stalls out, and I'll find myself barely inside circle 2. Kona now with that lone howl again.
It looks so good. I think it was just a little bit high, and I mean, it was great. It's just she found herself shorter than I think she intended, but she'll have a go at the green.
Yeah, that was the second one that she's called lazy. It's not a full commitment on that release.
I'm smiling to you because that's a Crystal Fierce that you graciously gave me, and it's been working out really well for me.
And Kat just not messing with that at all, just putting it right under the stump. I, on the other hand, kind of wanted to run that one. It looked beautiful shining in the sun.
Yeah. Tantalizing.
Kona looked like she was trying to get that one a little bit of a bid, trying to get it really high up there, but just kind of falls short. I left myself with a little bit of a tester on that one, but was happy to capitalize on that par putt.
Yep, we're just going to see a couple of tap-in pars here. 4 pars, that's not bad. I think that a lot of us can get this hole. It's just going to take 2 really well-executed shots.
Now we're moving into a couple wooded holes.
Yeah, hole 12, 296 feet, par 3. I love the shape of this. It's slightly downhill, a little bit low ceiling, but just far enough that you have to throw something really committed and have it hold super straight for the entire flight. And then you're overlooking the Mississippi right behind it. It's just a really, really beautiful hole.
This is my Tour Series Buzz. Just a little bit late out of my hand. I'm going to hit the bushes on the right and drop straight down into them. Catrina going with a fairway driver here. Looking to hug that right side. But that was a little bit tighter than wider than she wanted. She also hits the branches, but kicks down just outside of them.
Yeah, I'm going to Undertaker here, fairway driver, just trying to throw something pretty hard, maybe get a little bit of skips at the end. You kind of have to hug that right side. I hug it a little bit too tightly. I'll find myself just outside the circle.
Kona now also lining up a fairway driver. This is a leopard, pretty straight to slightly understable fairway. She's going with a different approach than the rest of us. She's going on the inside line, but just a little bit too low and left. She's going to hit those bushes, be left up on the high side.
Yeah, that'll work. Being up that high and then having to throw low under those branches is pretty difficult. Giving it a bid.
Catrina now from a similar spot. Kind of tickled one of those branches and took some speed off, but she's still only about 15 feet.
I really wanted this one, and just just hit the basket a little weird. I think a tiny bit higher would have been in the basket.
Yeah, half of the disc looked like it was in.
Yeah.
The other half hit the cage and did not fall in. That with a great putt. That was actually farther than I thought. That was more like 25 feet and great connection. She's killing it on the par putts today. I feel like she does not want to card a bogey.
No.
She's not finding herself close enough for a lot of these twos, but she's definitely converting on these par saves. She can get her drives on in the next few holes. She might be carding some big birdies.
You see Paige Shue just killing it right now. 7 down through 13. We're all still just trying to hold on to our lead card spot. Sarah Hokum falling off a little bit, but you know, she still has plenty of holes left. Hole 13 is 360 feet. It is a par 3. You're shooting out of this gap into a wide open field, and it's a slight anhyzer or forehand line. First priority is getting out of the gap, but throwing something committed enough that it'll get that late turn and hopefully get yourself near the circle or inside the circle. 360 isn't too far, but you have to commit to the shot completely.
Talking to myself here, telling myself to aim right at Gabe, the catch cam, and let it flip on its own. I think that I find a lot more confidence in hitting the gap when you pick a target well outside of the gap instead of just looking at those trees. So I did find the gap, but filtered off quite a bit left.
I just think it's so easy to go way too straight out of this gap because you're trying to hit the gap. Kat, that would have been absolutely perfect if it was just a little bit higher. I think she even said it herself.
That too. That was her H3 V2. I think that's the dish she throws the best in her bag, in my opinion. And she said it was perfect, just too low.
Yep. And I do something similar to you. I just kind of throw it a little bit too straight. I was also aiming just like straight out of the gap and hoping to get some turn, but didn't quite get it.
And this is Kona with her Roadrunner. Same error, but you know, it's not that bad of an error. We are still getting a long look at birdie, all of us, but we just want that late flip. So that's something to think about going into round 3.
Yep. Nice upshot by Kat.
It's a long look.
Yeah, I'm like just a step or two inside circle 2. And I'm definitely running this. And rolled away a little bit, but should be okay.
Also gave that one a bid from just inside circle 2. And Kona, wow, that one almost went in.
And I actually rolled away a little bit farther than I originally thought. Wasn't really thinking about it too much and just committed, but a little bit too high. So I'm pretty bummed about this bogey. I don't think it should be a bogey.
Yeah, and after that bogey, you actually are now tied with Catrina at 9 under par. Quite a few holes to play still on this round.
Yep. Hole 14, I really like this hole. It's a par 4, 660 feet. Basically, you just have to shoot it over that ravine. There is OB all along the left. You could see that road, and then thick woods on the right side. A pretty big fairway, but you really just have to commit to something slightly overstable. Just aim for those trees on the right side and have it hyzer back into the center of the fairway.
This is my Zeus here. I'm trying to tell myself to commit to the guy in the red shirt, just throw it right at him. And it kind of came out at him, but just a little bit too high, and it's going to filter down towards that out of bounds. I completely agree with you, though. This is such a great hole. I really enjoy this. The way that it drops off right by the tee, but then it slowly goes uphill for the rest of the flight. It's something unique, I think.
Yeah, I like it a lot. And Kat throws a great shot, hugging those right side trees right back into the fairway. Kona doing something similar, just asking for it to get left, and she is perfectly set up in the center.
Yeah, she punches that one at the right side tree line with her stable destroyer and just knows that it will just hit the ground and stop. Is your thrasher here?
Uh-huh. A little bit lower line, but still aiming right for those trees. Just trying to keep myself in the middle.
Yeah, I like that shot. Now you're left with a fairway shot from here.
Yeah, I'm throwing Paige Pierce Buzz, just trying to land short. I know that's going to get a lot of skips on that that short green. And yeah, I liked it a lot out of my hand.
Yeah, I think this is the biggest drop-off that we see on the course. So really, really our goal here on these approaches is to land short of the basket. If you're past the basket, you're looking at the basket's almost double the height of your head. Kona putting that out wide to the left. That is her MD3.
Yeah, she looked like she didn't like it out of her hand. Maybe she thought it was too wide, but she's nice and set up for a birdie.
I think that's a shot that you don't see too much in the women's division. Throwing a sidearm with a stable mid, it's pretty impressive.
Great birdie putt by Kat. Just sneaks it over the rim. Kona looking to keep it going.
All right. Great birdie. 2 beautiful shots and a good tester putt.
I said, okay, 2 birdies. Got to get this one. Keep it going.
All right. Another birdie to move up to 10 under, just like Catrina. Keep pace.
Hole 15, it's 703 feet. It is a par 4. We're sort of teeing off from slightly lower than the fairway, so we have to really pump one out there and get over that first mound and try to get some really nice footing in the middle of the fairway. And then another pretty big full shot up to the green. Yeah, this definitely takes 2 good shots to get yourself set up for a birdie.
Catrina with a big shot into the center of the fairway. Really just want to hit the gap. The second shot, there's absolutely no danger at all. So if you can just get over that hill, you can just let loose on the second shot, and Kat places it perfectly. Kona going left side, a little bit lower.
I mean, I like that play because you get over the hill right away, and then you're going to find yourself in the flat.
And you don't have to contend with those branches.
Right. Yep, I'm just trying to go big, get the height, and just find myself right in the middle there. it's easy to find yourself on the hillside, either short or left side. It would give you a little bit of a tricky footing.
This is my Surge SS. Trying to get as far as I can.
Yeah, this is a huge shot. And for me, I have another big shot. I was trying to aim for that tree and get a little bit of turn to get around it and hopefully skip up towards the circle. Unfortunately, I was too accurate and actually hit the tree that I was aiming at.
Kona now with another destroyer. Beautiful shot right under the basket. Skips to about 15 feet left. Catrina now with her X1 wide hyzer into the backside of the green. Pretty similar play that she had yesterday.
You're eyeing up that distance with your rangefinder.
Yeah, it said 90 yards. So I know it's just under 300 feet. Going with my Fierce there, but I hit the only tree in the way. And I'll be looking at a circle 2 putt.
Yeah, and I'm just behind you, definitely running this one.
Ooh.
Uphill, no real danger other than a roll away, but I would try not to think about that. Just a little low.
Stay up.
You make the correction, put it nice and high, dead center, nice and straight to the basket.
Yeah, with that uphill putt, you don't really, like you're saying, you don't have too much danger.
Kona for birdie. Just a little left side.
Catrina now with the PA1.
Great putt.
She recently switched to those the new plastic of PA1. She's always liked the PA1s, but Prodigy came out with the S model this year, which is, I believe that the S stands for stiff. I'm not positive on that, but I know that they are stiffer than the previous plastic. So,
Hole 16, 378 feet, par 3. Pretty wide open. I mean, there's the pond way over to the right side, which really shouldn't come into play. Some trees and woods over on the left side, again, really don't come into play. It's just a matter of getting a full pump out there and getting as close to the basket as you can. I don't know why this one feels so far, though. I mean, 378 is far, but it just feels like it should be more gettable than I think it was for our division the first round.
yeah, and we talked about that on the tee. Catrina comes up short again and kind of laughs it off, joking that calling it a par 4. And this is my Undertaker. When I pulled through, I hit my arm. Just errant pull through there. Gonna find myself short left as well. Kona with her destroyer. Finds herself up on the mound, but a little bit on the short side.
I threw the shot yesterday really great. I think I was one of 2 birdies from yesterday, which, again, this hole feels so good to get. And so I'm just trying to do the same thing again, but unfortunately just leave it a little bit low.
I'm contemplating running this, but those low-hanging branches make me not commit to a high enough release. Catrina just lays one under it.
Yep, inside circle 2 by a little bit. I'm running it, and it doesn't look like it, but I was running it.
I was going to say, wait, you?
I was running it. I joked about it with my caddy, but...
Kona now with that Firefly. Looked like she was trying to do a dropper. Safe bid. Came in just a tiny bit low. And we will all be settling for par.
get a score check real quick. Paige, you're still doing real well, 7 down through 16. Paige Shu is on 17 right now, also 7 down. Kat and I are still just trying to hold on there. And yeah, we're just trying to make that push and end strong, because hole 17, although it's only 269 feet, it is pretty daunting when you show up to that tee pad. You just really want to pure this line. I mean, it feels so good to do it, and once you do, you're going to find yourself putting, as long as you keep it high enough. So I think we're all probably throwing putters of some sort. This looks like maybe a PA1 from Kat. A little low, so she'll find herself just short, but made it through the gap.
This is my Crystal Fierce. Little bit lazy on that release. I clipped the last tree and kicks a little bit right, just outside circle 2. Kona now with a Mako 3. Little bit left as well, but she gets past the basket and she's looking back at it. Maybe an obstructed putt with that one tree in the way.
And not to rub it in at all, but I was just trying to say, I'm going to throw this Crystal Fierce really good.
Yeah, and you did so. You absolutely did. You are under the basket.
And we're joking about it right
yep.
there. But you said, it doesn't really matter. I threw it good enough because I can putt from anywhere, so that was amazing, Paige.
That one felt really good. Sometimes you see the water behind the basket. Sometimes you only see the chains. And in that moment, I definitely was focused, so I decided to run it.
This is really cool.
Kona, sweet bird. Had to go with a little Anheuser release on that putt, and it falls in. Get a little fist bump. And a great late round birdie.
Yeah, it felt good. I know I'm kind of on a slow pace right now, especially compared to my first round.
But with that birdie, you catch back up to Catrina. You're both sitting at 11 under par.
Yeah, and that leaves us with hole 18, our final par 5, 930 feet, a big water carry off the tee, and you can either try to get as much distance as you can, or if you have to lay up a little shorter, we should all be able to make it over the water. And then you want to pitch it up, or go for it, depending on how far you get, but pitch it up to that green just short of the pond, and then pitch it on over and hopefully walk away with a birdie. If not, maybe an eagle, depending on how far you get off the tee.
Yeah, and I really like this hole. It's one of the best finishing holes I can think of right now. It lets you choose your own adventure. How far do you want to carry over the water? Like you said, there's a water carry, but depending on what angle you go with it, it's anywhere from 250 to 500 feet of water carry. Kona, no surprise, going with the Destroyer again. She's not biting off quite as much distance as I chose to. I threw an Anheuser to get far down there. She threw just a pure hyzer, strictly to be safe.
I'm trying to do the same thing, a little low, so I was a little scared. I don't know, I had a little bit of anxiety on this tee pad. I don't know, really sure why, but I'll be okay. Yeah.
Big stakes. This is a Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Yeah.
And you just found yourself jumping up in the Pro Tour standings up to 3rd place.
I did, yeah, after the DDO. That feels really good to finally start putting my rounds together.
Yeah, so it's really cool that not only we're playing for a title here at the Preserve Championship, but we're also playing for Pro Tour standings with 11 events all year long. Cumulative point total will determine what goes on the championship later this year in October.
Yeah, it's big stakes. I did not commit to my shot, so I'm much shorter than I want to be for my 3rd shot. This is a very common error, if you want to call it that. It's really easy to get into that bunker, and it just makes your footing tougher for your over the pond shot. Kat also finds herself in the bunker.
This is my Zeus here. I got far enough up to where I'm going for the green, trying to get an eagle here, or at least a putt for the opportunity, and I find myself just inside circle 2.
Yeah. I'm way shorter than I usually am, or I plan to be, and I think this was a really, really far shot, but I knew if I turned something over, I could at least get over on the green side. I was nervous that did not make it, but luckily I did stay in bounds.
And Kona now light on her toes. That was beautiful. It didn't even hardly look like she was in sand.
Yeah.
And gets her Star Destroyer also inside circle 2, almost to circle 1 even.
Mm-hmm.
And Catrina now has a similar type of shot. See if she can be as light on her toes.
No. And I know she knew that we were tied, and I know that she was trying to get solo second place. I mean, we all are trying to shoot our best out here. So she even said right off the bat, you know, that was the worst thing I could have done.
Yeah, worst case scenario with that D1, just a little bit too low, skips off the hill into the water. And she takes the rule to her advantage where you can actually play it back as far as you would like if you go out of bounds. So she got the flat footing and threw her A2 up onto the green.
I'm trying to throw this in for sure. You know, why not? I don't know. And but I'll be settling for a par.
Why you do that? Eagle attempt did not quite give it a good bid there. But birdies are good as well. Kona almost sinks that one.
That little, like, throw putt is pretty cool.
Yeah, wow. Beautiful putt from Catrina. That was to save bogey, unfortunately, but, you know, hitting a putt like that definitely saves you stroke no matter how you look at it.
Nice birdie to finish a really hot round. Almost as hot as your first round, but... man, I would take a 10-9 back-to-back any day.
And you carding that par after Catrina's bogey will set you one shot ahead of her. Check out the leaderboard. What are we going to see going into the third and final round? Paige at 19 under, Missy Gannon 11 under, Catrina Allen at 10 under, and Kona at 7 under. Kona will unfortunately be bumped off the lead card by Paige Shu, who came in with a 7 under par, so we will be joined with her tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys had a great 4th of July. I know that we all did here at the Preserve. Make sure you guys subscribe, and shout out to Prodigy Disc and GK Pro for this awesome coverage.